The Bite Me podcast is coming right up, and it is brought to you every week right here on YouTube by Freedom Boats. It is the best shallow running boat on the water, and there is a model perfect for you. The Chiquita 14, the Eagle 16, the Patriot 18, the Commander 21, the beautiful Warrior like I have 23, or the big boy that runs so shallow, the General 26. Chet Moore and Pooty can customize it however you'd like, and there's a dealer near you, whether it's the Boatyard in Kemah or dealerships in San Antonio, Beaumont, Corpus Christi, Port O'Connor, Houston, and Aransas Pass. Freedom Boats or freedomboatsusa.com.
Good intro.
That was a good intro right there. A possum in the house. That's one of the things that's going on behind the scenes as we get started today on the Bite Me podcast. All sorts of things. I was writing notes. I was taking notes as we were getting ready to get on the air here. This is the Bite Me podcast. John Lopez sitting right here, my favorite hour of the week. I haven't said that in a while. It really is. I was looking forward to today's show just because it's nice to see the boys. Did you find a possum, by the way? Caleb, did you find a possum? Oh, he's putting his headsets on. Did you find a possum?
Our local outdoor kitty cat is under my toolbox upstairs.
Oh, okay. So that's that. I wanted to ask a question that came up on my regular radio show in a second, but don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I got a lot of people jumping in here on the live YouTube stream, which you can join us every Tuesday at 3:30-ish. And get in and ask your questions live and in person. Of course, I post this podcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. or thereabouts. We've got puppies in Captain Dean's lap. We've got Caleb talking about kayaking.
No, I don't have puppies in my lap.
Captain Scott's lap. I said Captain Dean. Captain Scott also wearing the OG sauce cap, which is always fun. We've got a question already about OG sauce, and we might get to that as well. Do a little self-serving. Caleb's birthday. How's the fundraiser going?
Dude,
I saw you got a nickel.
I did, man. I'm up to like $4.97, dog. They're rolling in. Shout out to my man Orlando and Chris Collins, cheap as hell. He only sent a nickel.
That was so good because you asked, for those who are just weighing in, you who was it that put together it was their birthday and they did
it was somebody on Facebook that Dean saw, I think.
Yeah, and you're like, I want to do that, and
it's a great idea.
Our listeners, as fantastic as ever, started sending you like a nickel.
I'm almost going to get a can of Copenhagen for my birthday.
See?
Yeah.
We raised $73,000 for Heroes on the Water and Texas Boys Outdoors for the Feeding Frenzy. And for your birthday, we got like $4.87.
I'm almost to a boat launch fee. 3 more cents and I can launch at Charlie's and Sargent.
All right.
I'm in for 3 cents, man.
By the end of this show, I want to see how many 3-cent Venmos or we can get to Caleb McCumber. And I'm talking about by the end of the show when I post it tonight as well. No more, no less. 3 cents. What's your Venmo? I'm gonna write it down.
At Cap Caleb TV, baby.
At Cap with a T?
CAPT Caleb TV.
CAPT.
You get to see a picture of me.
Caleb
that's
TV.
Free.
At Captain Caleb TV. At CAPT CALEB TV.
That's right.
3 cents at a time. No more, no less. Let's let this boy have a happy birthday.
Yes, this would be amazing.
Go ahead, I got a whole jar of pennies on the counter here. You can have all of them.
I'm doing it right now. Look at this. I'm doing it right now.
If we get enough 3-cent transactions, do you think that Venmo would actually be losing money on their little transaction fee? Could we take over the platform with this?
Yes, we're probably going to all be banned, but it'll be.
We're gonna short trade Venmo.
Yes. This is like the Bitcoin of let's see, 0.03. There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Birthday. It's happening right now. This is called great podcasting right here. Pay. Boom. It's on its way. There's one right there. Okay, so other things to get to before we get some topics. Captain Scott, you had a puppy in your lap. You still got puppies that you're trying to get home for, right?
Yep, got 2 of them. Got a little male and a little female.
Give us the details, and then we'll get rolling.
They're little mini Aussies. They were running around my feet a minute ago. I don't know where they're at now. But
all right, and they can contact you for that.
Little tricolored They contact Camille for it. Here's
Mhm.
one.
Look at that. Look at that. It pays to be
His
on
eyes.
YouTube.
Look at his
And
eyes real close.
Got one blue eye, one brown eye.
a lot of those have one different colored eyes, don't they?
Yeah, we had a couple of them out of this litter.
All right.
Super
Well, there we
sweet.
go. The 3-cent Venmos are rolling in for Captain Caleb. And he was talking about kayaking, which is a shocker. Let me get to one more question here from the live YouTube stream. And I want Captain Dean to answer this question so it doesn't sound too self-serving. It's from our friend Fish Camp TV. Can OG sauce be used as a marinade? You just made a meatloaf with some.
Damn straight it can. And so yes, you need to post the recipe for, or you can make the meatloaf into any whatever your recipe is and put it on the smoker. I drenched that thing in OG sauce, smoked it for 3 hours. I just had meatloaf sandwich when I came in from fishing. I made it yesterday, and man, that I don't think I'll ever have meatloaf any other way again.
Yeah, it was. I'll post that recipe. I'll write that down as well. It's
Hey, I got another look, completely off topic.
Okay.
Before we get on any topic,
okay.
I meant to tell y'all last week because it was kind of funny, but I forgot. Remember, like 2 weeks ago, I was sitting here and I was preoccupied tying some knots, and I was tying on a gold spoon.
Mhm.
And just from the conversation, and I was sitting here, I found a gold spoon on the table, and I was like, man, I got to try this.
Yeah.
Y'all talked me into it.
Yeah, it was
And
a
so
topic.
I tied on a gold spoon, was out there fishing. It's like the third cast, man. I was swimming across the grass, dropped it in a sand hole, boom, big old redfish, hooked it up. Never been so proud of myself. I'm sitting there like, woo. I remember who was fishing with me that day, and I get it up to the side of the boat, and I was going to grab the leader just to hold it there for a second. Didn't have the net in my hand. Boom, line snaps, gold spoon and fish gone. And I was like, I blamed all of y'all for that whole incident.
Everyone listening, all of it. All right.
It was embarrassing is what it was at the moment, so I had to blame somebody.
See, we all get a little something out of the podcast here, but yeah. So we're like to pull the curtain back a little bit, let everybody know how we're getting ready for the show, which is generally not talking about fishing. We're doing a little lady talk as well, but let's get to it. I'm gonna start with Captain Scott because Captain Dean literally is tying on another bait on a rod as
another gold spoon.
He's a convert.
I have to make up for previous inadequacies.
Yeah. Scott, what's going on out there? What are you seeing, whether you're on the water or not? And then you guys just jump in where you were, how you did, what you noticed this week. And we got some other topics as well.
I ran a couple trips and had some good days. First day, water was a little bit too low. I know we always want the low water, a little too low. Saw a lot of fish that were crawling and just couldn't even get to them. And they were crawling around with their eyeballs out of the water way back in the back edge and just couldn't quite reach them. They were in some soft areas. Couldn't really even get out of the boat to go walk up to them. But plenty of singles, a couple of schools here and there. The next day, the water came up maybe 2 or 3 inches, gave us just enough room to move around a little better. And I'd say we probably had 150, 200 shots at fish. I mean, there was
200.
Literally everywhere we looked, there were singles. I mean, they were all over the place. And I think 3 or 4 good schools. But most of it was kind of weird. Usually following one of those real low water deals, when the water comes back up, I was fully expecting to just find nothing but schools.
So why was it singles?
I have no idea. I mean, there was some, but the majority of them were just all scattered out. They were within the same. It was weird. You go down a shoreline, you wouldn't see anything for 50, 60 yards, 75 yards. Then all of a sudden there'd be a wad where it was, hey, you got to fish at 10 o'clock, fish at 12 o'clock, fish at 1 o'clock. Yeah. They were just they were all singles. And they were tailing, doing their thing, just spread out on the grass. Whole lot of little bitty grass shrimp. flicking around as the bunch of mullet out there. And as the big mullet were cruising across the flats, you can see shrimp jumping everywhere. So lots of bait, lots of mullet, lots of shrimp, and a lot of fish.
That's good stuff. Caleb, I wanted to see what you, if you could weigh in on that, but I'm thinking wade fishing. I'm getting a little hankering. I'm feeling a little frisky today. I was really excited to get on the podcast just to get back here in my office and talk fishing. I guess because I didn't go last weekend. Think about hopping out of the boat. Anything going on wade fishing right now?
Man, from what I understand, wade fishing's been pretty darn good. The thing is, and this is an if you know situation. Anytime you talk to Pat about the wade fishing, it's pretty darn good. But that's what I've heard. But now he said it's been pretty decent. On Scott's singles thing, man, I swear there's something that has to do with the water temperature. I think when that water starts getting warmer, those schools spread out and kind of get out of that mode. Then when it gets colder again, they get back together. That's what I've seen over the past several years. The water temperature between 60 and 66, 67, they're pretty tight. And then the warmer it gets, the more spread out they seem to get.
Maybe they're huddling together for warmth.
Yeah, rubbing their little fins. I saw the same thing. It was Scott. Would we concur that we would call it tightly grouped singles? Because I would go 100, 200 yards, nothing, and then they'd be overwhelming. There'd be one all over the place, and I go a couple 100 yards like that, and then it'd be a desert again, and then just in and out of that.
That was a whole lot of what we were seeing, and there was no rhyme or reason to it. It wasn't like it was all the same. I was on a big grass flat, and same depth, same everything. There would be no fish, and then all of a sudden there'd be fish everywhere.
The same. Yep.
That's peculiar. Dean, you got on a big old trout today that I had my eye on. Of course, I have my eye on all big ones, but what are you seeing out there?
We had 2 big trout today.
Really?
So, I mean, interesting as I listened to Caleb about that. Our water temperature has come way up. It's 75 degrees on the flats again. And even with the really low tide, just fishing on deeper flats, the fish are widely dispersed. I mean, but they are all over the flats of Redfish Bay. I mean, they are widely dispersed. I spent a lot of time in one spot that's been pretty consistent for me. At the end of the day, made a move, pretty decent move, and immediately on that drift started getting blow-ups again. But I mean, fishing is just good in Redfish Bay right now. So we talk about it all year long, though. I mean, this is the season we wait for. There's it's abnormally warm for this time of year.
Yeah.
Water temperature is still warm, but the days are noticeably shorter. The mullet that are usually piled up and making that migration where there's big rafts are just acting like summertime mullet. They're spread out everywhere. And it feels, I mean, it feels like fishing in summer out there right now. Looks like it, feels like it. The one big difference is, and I say this all year long, that the speckled trout that live on those drop-offs that do not tolerate the heat or the grass beds at this time of year, and it is a 50-50 chance for a big trout or a big redfish on any cast on those grass beds right now.
Yeah. Well, that is interesting behavior. We'll get to what would Scott and Caleb and Dean do at the end of the show. I do want to mention one more thing for anybody that missed the start of the show. Our goal this week is to get Captain Caleb TV. That's at CAPTCALEB TV on Venmo. 3-cent donations.
All right, look, man, y'all are gonna have to stop because my email is already like going nuts. I don't know if y'all can hear it. My computer's over there going ding, ding, ding.
3 cents at a time. You might get a 6-pack.
I think I'm going to lose money on the bandwidth that my internet takes to give me all these notifications.
This is true. All right, I want to do this because we haven't had a real good Well, we had one a few weeks ago, but a real good boat ramp confessional in a long time. And I stopped by Master Hitch, talked to my buddy Scott Pinkley over there. You guys know he's a real friend of the podcast. And I'm sitting there, we're talking, and so I said, boy, if anybody has a really good boat ramp confessional story, it's Scott. So he started to tell me, and I said, whoa, stop. I got to record this. So I want to just get y'all's reaction to this, and then maybe you can stretch it a little bit and tell me what you think, if you have any similar story that can compete with that, because this is wild. And I'm going to do it old school because I just have it on my laptop here. So I'm going to take my headphones off and play it for you. I hope it doesn't have any feedback. But listen to this.
And they're going to go out and do some wakeboarding, and they get out of the marina, and the boat will not get on plane. It like just barely is running. Engine's running right, nothing's sputtering. They bring it in. It's an inboard-outboard, so the guy at the marina dives down to see if something's fouled the prop, and he comes up out of the water, and he's about drowning because he's laughing so hard. They have the entire boat trailer still strapped to the bottom of the boat. They just jacked it up on the jack and rolled it down the boat ramp via the trailer jack. They took it off the ball and launched the boat trailer. So they were trying to get on plane with the boat trailer still strapped to the bottom of the boat. That's my all-time.
So he has a story of a client that launched their boat, couldn't get it on plane, didn't know what the hell was going on, inboard, outboard. They finally sent a dive team down there, trying to figure out why it wouldn't get on plane. And the entire boat trailer was still attached to the boat, tied on. They took the hitch off the ball and launched the boat that way.
And not to be lost, this was probably a $300,000 wakeboard boat on Lake Havasu.
Yeah, it was Lake Havasu, and it was yes, very much. They were going to go wakeboarding. Never in my life, and that is a hand to God true story of an amateur, I guess. It had to be an amateur. Said, well, it's on the trailer. So take the trailer off the ball and let's launch this sucker.
Let's go.
There's always that. Every year, a couple of them show up around here, where somebody will post a picture of somebody going down the intercoastal with their trailer attached, and everybody will start making fun of them and give them a hard time. Around here, they're going over to the island, and they'll run a boat all the way over to Matagorda Island where everybody's got the camps, and pull up there with the trailer and hook up to it with the truck that they keep over there on the island and pull it out. I see it. It happens every year.
Damn, that actually works.
And so what's the logic behind it?
Well, they got to get the trailer over there to the island.
And then you just leave it. They just leave it there.
Yeah, there's nowhere to really leave your boat overnight over there.
Yeah.
I suppose that's what they're doing. I don't know. It never really made much sense to me, but I mean,
here's
knock it. But I mean, if you're going to keep your boat over there, I guess. But
yeah,
then how you going to get back?
Did my confessional ever see the light of day? I know Jimmy posted it on Facebook, and everybody's messaging him.
Which one?
It's like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had a pitcher from the Chicago Cubs with me, and we were going to have us a big day. And I left the damn pergo on my boat and killed it dead. And so while we are at the boat ramp, and we've got Pat Gardner's truck with jumper cables, putting some juice back in her, we are watching redfish crawl down the other side of the creek, just their backs out of the water, just the prettiest. And we're sitting there watching them like, man, it sure would be fun to be fishing for those right now. It was like an hour. It was an hour situation. It was bad. A dire situation. But it was that perfect early in the morning where the sun's just hitting those redfish broadside, and they are like glistening gold, just crawling up and down the grass. And
like a TV show.
If we can just get this thing in the water, that'd be.
I'd never heard of anything like that, but especially I guess like Franklin is talking on here, like maybe a little flats, a little small boat, you can do that or whatever. But a boat that you're going to go wakeboarding on?
No.
that would be, and this is where my mind went. And hop in if you have anything that similar that might have happened. But in today's era of YouTube, social media posts, everything you can imagine, if you're new to boating How difficult is it if you're not the I got this guy, I can figure it out guy? How difficult is it to learn how to do things right with your boat? I mean, it's the simplest thing ever.
Oh, dude, whenever on my first boat, I bet I sat on the dock for a solid 30 minutes trying to figure out how the heck even the oil and the gas mixture was supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And how deep do you back your trailer in? I don't make fun of people at the boat ramp because I've been sitting there where I backed it in too deep and I couldn't get it on the trailer and the roller was bumping over the top of the nose. Hey, it's not an easy thing if you don't have somebody to teach you, which I really didn't.
Yeah, but today you can do it in one sitting. You can just watch a YouTube video. How to launch my boat. How does this work? How does that work? Scott, you and I were talking a long time ago on this podcast, and I think you and I both did the same thing. When I first started, I mean, heck, I think I was in college or just out when I got my first boat. I literally had a legal pad, and I had 1, this, 2, this, 3, this, and every single time I launched my boat down to bringing the boat back onto the ramp, I would have to check mark like every single piece. It's not that hard.
No, I mean, I never had a checklist, but
I don't think I'd have told that, John. I really don't.
I had a legal pad. Hey, I never screwed up. Well, I did, but not because of the checklist.
Now I have my routine,
Mm-hmm.
that I go through every time. And the only thing that messes it up is when a customer gets there early and they come up, start talking to me, or somebody recognizes me at the boat ramp, comes over, starts talking. That'll screw me up every time.
That's what happened to my Pergo.
Someone was talking to you?
Somebody walks up, talk, and gets you out of your rhythm. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, and then I've got the reverse when I get back in. That little boat, I've got an extension on the tiller. I do tiller drive. I pop that extension off and I put it in the back hatch where the Pergo is. And so when I take that extension off, the Pergo gets turned off. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody were to come up and start talking to me in between the time I put that Pergo or put the extension in there and turn that Pergo off, I might mess that up. But yeah, I mean, you got to have a system and stick to it. Learn what works for you, and get a routine going.
Yeah. I mean, I had that legal pad probably a year. To be honest, I didn't want to leave anything.
You can stay on there anywhere to park your truck.
It actually did not, which I think that takes me off the hook. I think
No, it doesn't.
Go park truck. Yeah. After you launch the boat, go park the truck. No, I didn't say that, but let's talk about the most important thing between you and that potential fish of a lifetime: lines and leaders. Seaguar, truly the best. They've been doing it at the highest level since 1971. People always ask, what do you throw? I throw Seaguar. The double structure fluorocarbon is virtually invisible in the water and has exceptional strength and castability. And if you love and trust Seaguar fluoro, you're going to love the braid. Man, bait casters, spinning reels, inshore, offshore, it's the absolute best and the only braid I throw. It's Seaguar, the best quality, the most trusted name in the game. Get to a great retailer near you like Fishing Tackle Unlimited or Anglers Anonymous. Visit Seaguar.com. That's Seaguar. Seaguar, always the best. No, it was interesting. So Scott, I know we were talking about this, but the other thing that he was talking about that was interesting, just while we're on this discussion, he was telling another story about a trailer and the saltwater hitting it so much. This guy had this old, I think it was Boston whaler, one of those classic Boston whalers, and the trailer just kept creaking and creaking. Guy went in there and said, what can you do to fix this trailer? It's starting to show some rust. And he looked at it and he said, you either need a new trailer or it'll cost you about $4,000 for me to fix this thing, because there's just rust everywhere. And the guy goes, I got this. That's why I said I got this thing. He goes, I got this. I'll figure it out. Literally driving away from Master Hitch, hit some bump or a curb or something, and the whole trailer just exploded. And he said his boat slid like 20 feet. He actually got it all together, left the boat on the side of the road, went back and fell on the sword. To his credit, he fell on the sword. He said, you were right. I need a new trailer. Like literally leaving the
Upon
place.
further review.
This summer, I was watching guys launching an old John boat, there at the fishing center. They launched out, and one guy's backing it off got in, and he's cranked it up, and he's backing it back. The other guy has unhooked him. Now he's driving the truck off. And as they drive off, the bunk boards are still there floating in the water at the ramp. Both bunk boards came off.
I've had mine come loose several times, and that's a sign.
I caught up with him. I caught up with the guy that was in the boat and said, "Hey, man, before y'all put that back on the trailer, you might want to look at this."
Yeah. Are these yours? You should have put them in your boat. Are these yours? All right, let's get to some more fishing stuff here. This has been on the old rundown for over a month, so let's get to it right out of the chute. We got some other things, including something about the high tides that I found interesting. I came across this week, and there might be some good news out of all those high tides that we've had. But key things many anglers do not pay enough attention to. This is a question from a listener, and he said, "Hey, John, hope all is well. How about a discussion on setting your drag? I'm sure it's been discussed before, but maybe in particular, is there a difference when setting your drag for trout versus redfish? Personally, I like my drag tight because I want to make sure I don't miss a bite." And then, of course, the discussion is what else? What else is there that a lot of times I've seen it so many times on my boat? The drag is set. Take the rods on, take the rods off. Nothing ever changes, whether it's the wind, whether it's this. They don't mess with the drag, but also things like knots and leaders we'll get to as well. But what are some things, and let's start with the drag, Caleb. Let's start with the drag that you see a lot of your friends and clients, they just don't pay enough attention to. Let's start there.
Man, I think the only one where you can really do something wrong with your drag, aside from being so loose when you set the hook, nothing happens, is if you're fishing for big trout. I like to, and it's hard to explain, but hand tight. If I can grab the line and pull it, and there's enough resistance there that it's doing its job, but I can still pull it pretty easy. That's where I set it for big trout. Mainly because I'd rather that trout run with it than fight with him and tear his mouth up. Redfish, I don't think you can get it wrong. I personally run mine tight. I'm running 50-pound braid, so I'm not worried about my line breaking. I want to get the fish to the boat. I don't want him to go get tangled up under grass, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes when the fishing sucks and we're only going to catch a couple, I'll loosen the drag off so I can enjoy those couple I'm going to catch a little bit more. But yeah, I don't think you can really get it wrong on redfish. The only place I'm picky about it is big trout. I want it kind of loose for big trout. And I also have a tendency to thumb my spool whenever I set the hook. So I'm not worried about the hook set being strong enough. I just want that fish to be able to run with it a little bit.
What do you think, Scott?
Well, no matter where I set it, somebody always changes it.
Who's the somebody that's getting on your reels?
Customers just they loosen them up.
Oh, gotcha.
And
yeah.
But yeah, I do a little hand pull on it. It's just a feel thing. Now you get into some of the offshore reels, and you're going to be trolling. You want to have it set just right. And there are some techniques for that. You can get a pull scale, and you know what your drag should be set at, or whatever you're fishing for, and what size line you've got, and then you can set those. That's the lever drags. But on spinning, it's on a bait caster. It's easy to change it while you're fighting fish. If
while the fish is on,
you can back off. You get that feeling of I probably should back this thing off a little bit. You can. Spinning reel's a little different. You got to reach around the front and turn that little knob, and it's not real precise. It's a different feel to it.
A little goes a long way.
Sometimes, but I do tighten it up from time to time on customers, because I'll notice that it's backed off. I don't know whether they do it or if it just backed off on its own. I have no idea. But when they're reeling and all you're hearing is as they're trying to reel, it's not good, for fighting the fish, but it's also not good for the line, because every time that drag's going while they're reeling, it's twisting that line up pretty good. So yeah, drag overall is just a feel thing. I reach down, I grab it if I can pull it, and it's not a bad idea to go ahead and pull it a few times here and there anyway. Just
sometimes it locks up.
Drag stick, depends on your reel and how good a reel it is.
Mhm.
Sometimes those drags stick just a little bit, and that's where you need it to be the smoothest is at startup.
What I
Yeah.
haven't figured out is when the bass guys are fighting a fish, they got one on, they've been fighting him for a minute, and they reach forward and grab the line and pull some out while they're fighting the fish. I would like for a bass person to explain to me just what the heck it is they're doing there.
Yeah.
I have no idea. You got me. All right. So what else? And you guys are good to talk to about this because, you know, you have so many different people on your boats that, you know, especially if they're bringing their own gear or whatever, that you see like they just don't pay enough attention to. Like it's easy to be set up and you're at your house and you set your rod up and reel up and everything. And then they forgot this or that. I was thinking like knots and leaders, but whatever else might be jumping into your mind here.
Missing an eye. I
Oh,
see that so often, particularly on fly rods. Yeah, I see it a lot on fly rods because everybody's putting their rod together to get on the boat, and they're in a hurry in the morning. They're excited,
mm-hmm.
and they'll miss an eye. Do it. That's a real regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Had one the other day. I had some leader on that was apparently pretty weak. He lost a couple of fish, and then he grabbed a hold of the leader and just pulled on it, both hands, and it snapped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, put some fresh leader on there. You know, don't grab that's been sitting in the boat for a year, sitting up on the dashboard, because sun eats up that mono and the fluorocarbon, and it'll weaken it over time.
Mm-hmm.
Check those basics. Check your hook. I did have a good one on a gold spoon at one point where me and a buddy were out fishing. He hands me his rod. We're trying to fly fish. It was just too windy, and he said, "Man, I got a spinning rod here. It's got a gold spoon on it."
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed it and threw it and set the hook on about 4, 5, 6 fish and just missed every one of them. And I said, "Man, you try it." He's giving me hell about it. And he said, "You try it and I'll pole." So I jumped up poling. He misses the first fish, misses the second fish, and he reels it up. He goes, "Huh, there's no hook on this."
On a spoon?
Yeah, how they're welded on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
And apparently on the first fish, I guess I just broke the hook off.
Mm-hmm.
And just never looked at it. I mean, it was fish everywhere, you know, so we were just steady casting to them. Didn't pay much attention to it.
We were vertical jigging grouper in like 1,200 feet of water, and I grabbed it was just a rod that was sitting in the rod holder. I hadn't really been fishing. I was letting Caden them fish and video and stuff. And I grabbed it and it had one of those big long diamond jigs on it. I don't know, they weigh like 17 pounds.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah.
And I dropped that sucker 1,100 feet, and I'm sitting there just jigging it, my little heart's content. And the deckhand comes by and says, "Hey, where'd that jig with no hook on it go?" And I reeled that sucker up 1,200 feet, and we put a hook on it. It was great.
And then you caught a fish. Go figure.
The one I caught it might have been a world record snowy or yellow edge grouper. I don't know. The thing was huge, but we ate it, and I didn't know I was supposed to measure it until after we ate it. It was a big one.
Go ahead.
The thing I see people overlooking, and I watch people regularly make life harder on themselves all day long on my boat because they don't pay attention to the jig head weight. They use whatever they used last time. And with me, you're primarily sight casting redfish, and they'll show up, and I'll usually say something like they'll have like a 16th ounce or an 8th ounce one or something, and I'll tell them like, "Hey man, you're gonna want to throw quarters out here. You can get it out there further. You can be more accurate with it." And oh, okay, and they don't. They just put a plastic on and go to work. And man, the 3 minutes it would have taken you to swap out that jig head, well, it makes your whole day better, and it's vice versa. And I'm kind of jealous of it. I mean, I'm a what do you call it? Guilty of it too, because I'll be out trout fishing, and I should probably put on a 16th to wade through a grass flat, and I just don't want to do it, and so I'll throw an 8th all day, and my life would have been better if I'd have lightened it up.
The one thing I've been guilty of, and you just have to discipline yourself to not be, is sometimes something will cut off or whatever. You grab a rod that doesn't have a leader on it, and I just tie the jig head right on it. And generally, in most areas, it doesn't matter too much. But when you're on oysters and when you're on rocks on those roads, I mean, I've lost flat out. I've lost fish, just because there wasn't a leader on it. And that's just, I mean, our own laziness, I mean, we've probably all done it, but I've made myself like, what's 3 more minutes? You can tie those leaders onto the line in just a minute once you get used to it,
Well, another thing is that's another reason I don't like those clips, the little speed clips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and retie a knot. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take that long to retie a knot. And quite often, after you've caught 2 or 3 fish, if you'll feel that leader, it's got nicks in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're throwing around oysters, it's always got nicks in it. So it never hurts to retie ever so often. And people that use those little clips all the time never want to retie, and they'll lose fish because of it.
Mm-hmm.
We were throwing, dude, I think like 40-pound fluorocarbon in Florida. And I caught one snook on it. And interestingly enough, I didn't notice the thing. Mark Nichols cuts my braid and like coils up my leader and hands it to me. I'm like,
Okay.
thanks, Mark. Hey, is Mark having a stroke again, or is this normal?
Again.
Yeah. But like that's what you said. This is what you caught your first good snook on it. You keep this. And the leader's like 6 foot, and I ran my fingers down it, and this thing is destroyed after one fish. It just
Mm-hmm.
And so, like Scott was saying, you around here, redfish and trout and stuff, you catch a handful on it, and it's probably time to retie that leader. So, to me, the clips are good for straight on braid. I don't think I'd dabble with them on a leader.
Yeah. Dean is here, of course, and we're talking about things that people maybe don't pay enough attention to. We talked about obviously the knots and the leader and stuff, but I lost a really nice redfish with Dean last time I was out, and he was chomping at the bit to prove to me that it was the knot, but it wasn't the knot. I showed him the leader. It just had a little nick in it. It just snapped right in the middle of it. But yeah, Dean, anything that you're out there and you're like, man, I wish they, you try to tell them like Caleb was just talking about, but people just get in a hurry or lazy and they don't pay enough attention to. What are some of the things that jump out with you?
Where your drag is set can be one.
Mm-hmm.
Too hard, set the hook, you break off a fish. Too light, miss a hook set. I mean, I habitually check the drag when I hand anybody a rod, and I emphasize to them to not change it while they're fighting a fish,
Mm-hmm.
But the simple things can bite you in the butt sometimes, just like that story I was talking about, the little gold spoon I lost at the beginning, just getting a little careless. Knots are always
Mm-hmm.
but there's surprises that you can't always, I don't know, you can't always be prepared for, but I guess if you have a little mental checklist, you can prevent them. Just laziness.
Yeah,
See,
that's what it is. We all do it.
I habitually check the drag when somebody hands me a rod.
That too.
Yeah,
that too. If it's too loose and you set a hook and you lose the fish or whatever it may be.
But
One
do
thing
you
that
check
I'm
your casting control?
I'm still. I don't even know which reel that was. I took down there to use, but the fact is I don't know, and I'm going to explode one at some point this fall and be like, oh, it was that one.
Tell the story.
Have we even talked about the what would we call this? The cheater gate at the casting contest that these two dudes had to resort to dethrone the greatest fisherman of all time.
Well, I wasn't in the contest, but go ahead.
Yeah. They just found everything they could on my reel and turned to the left. Apparently, if I would have cast it overhand with that bar bucket, it might have blown me off the front of that boat.
So you're talking about this past casting contest?
The past casting contest.
Well, we talked a little bit about it, but I didn't get all the details.
Oh no, they're treasonous, man. They're no good. They're rotten, stinking, dirty, and no good.
Well, Caleb left his reel unattended up in the rod holder on the boat we were doing. And when I walked, Lee spooled the dial to the loose position.
I wish I'd have been there to see them look at each other whenever I made the first couple of casts and nothing happened. But my little underhanded style saved me on that one. If I went overhanded, it would have went bad.
Once you got a little distance, it was over.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, really, if you go by it, I overshot that third one by about 2 feet, and I mean that's worth about probably 3 cranks to the left on my. So if you adjust and apply the algorithms, I'm the champion.
Yeah, we know you don't know algebra, so so that isn't gonna fly here.
Algebra, that's at horses and cows. It's like a hay. It's green.
Right. One thing that I'm anal about, and maybe to a fault, is the rod I have for what I'm throwing. I've talked about it a little bit here, but it has to be a certain type of rod for top water, certain type of rod, shorter rod for subsurface. Yeah, a little different. I'm more flexible with the plastics, but and then a real stiff rod for like if I'm throwing a gold spoon or something. Is that something that people overlook?
I think you can use a rod that'll just work the heck out of you if you're throwing like a top water or a quirky because it's way too limber.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having a rod for each application is dang sure handy.
Mm-hmm.
But most people own one that's acceptable to do just about anything.
Right.
You might work a little bit harder at one thing than the other. I mean, Dean, what's the I'm not really into this, but what's the best? I know that like a regular lure rod doesn't work well for croaker. What do y'all use for those?
The only croaker rod I ever get my hands on, I break it over my knee, so I would never know what the end result is.
I do have to do a shout out. I told Dean this story off air. I do have to do a shout out to our guy Roy from Texas Boys Outdoors. I went fishing with him about a month and a half ago, and he had some croaker because he was taking some kids out. So he had taking some kids out from Shriners Hospital, and we were fishing, not really catching. It was early in the morning, and he goes, I'm gonna make you mad. I was like, what? I'm gonna put a croaker on. I was like, I can do whatever you want. I'm not, you can do whatever you want. He goes, they're right there if you want them. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep trying with this. Literally the next cast, I caught a big ass trout and he got so mad. I was like, it's karma. It's karma. But he did catch some fish on the croaker later, but I wasn't passing judgment.
Let's talk about the end result of this day, John.
Yeah. The end result was, he caught more than I did, but you know what? I was just thinking about the little Shriners kids. Actually, he was taking croaker away from them. I shouldn't have given him credit for that. But either way, I gave him credit. He's like, I know you're not going to like this, but let's talk about taking your game to another level. Let's talk about Sawgrass rods. If you haven't heard, they're taking over the inshore, offshore, and fly rod game. Sawgrass rods, Colin Zillich, the whole gang over there are going to make sure that you've got the right rod. We throw Sawgrass rods, and Sawgrass is the next level of rod. I'm telling you, when you order a Sawgrass rod, if you don't like what you ordered, return it. They'll pay for the shipping. That's the way it is, and that's the way you can trust Sawgrass rods, sawgrassrods.com. All right, let's get some good news here. This was something I came across in my usual sort of, research, perusing the internet as we're getting ready to send you guys this rundown. And I came across this story, and I wish I could remember the name. I know you guys know him from the Heart Institute, and I can't remember his name right now. But there was some good news about the high tides. Remember, we've been talking about, Dean, I know you and I have talked about it a lot, Scott, obviously. I mean, how long did we have so many the high tide, just forever? It seemed this past summer and into the fall. It really just in the last couple of weeks has gone down. So apparently these high tides and the jet stream, El Nino, if you will, apparently this has turned into an absolutely epic year for mangrove seeds because of that, because of the high tide and El Nino. Have you noticed he posted some pictures? I'll look it up when you're talking, so don't make a hand signal to me to get his name because I want to give him credit. But apparently like hundreds and thousands of mangrove seeds are showing up. And I'm going to get to something that actually is helping the oyster reefs too on the mid coast, but I'll get to that in a minute. Have you noticed a lot of mangroves, including red seeds?
And that was fixing to be black mangroves. Were they reds?
It was blacks, mostly blacks.
What? So our own black mangroves drop their own seeds,
But he said there was some red ones. Yeah.
And of course, those things float from faraway places, and it'd be very interesting. I mean, around the pass, right behind the pass, along the front shoreline of Harbor Island is where those things were growing wild and free before the freeze. The little inlets, the little cuts that feed the lighthouse lakes from the Lydia Ann Channel along the Harbor Island shoreline is the most logical place for them to be deposited, landing on some favorable soil, and actually get a chance to grow right there. I have not been out there. I have not been really roaming. You got to get up close and personal with those shorelines to really see it. I mean, I know those guys, that's what they do. They go probing around in those bushes and just look for interesting things like that. But I mean, it'd be interesting,
apparently
there were like, the hurricanes that did not make it to us, that went through Bahamas and those islands down there, could have easily blew some in our direction. But it's going to take many years for those to have any kind of results.
Well, sure.
I mean,
Jace Tunnel. Jace Tunnel was who it was from the Heart Institute.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know Jace or not.
I've taken those guys out post-freeze, doing research on where the most damage was, because they were looking for places to plant and replace some of the mangroves that were decimated in the freeze. But okay, so even if those seeds were deposited here this year, I have grown those things. I've propagated in my backyard, grown them in a pot for a year, moved them to a favorable spot and grow. And it takes 5 years to get a mangrove to be 1 foot tall. And so you got to start somewhere. You got to
start somewhere.
You got to start with a seed.
Scott, you're probably about the red mangroves.
Yeah, well, he said that there were red seeds.
There were red seeds too.
Yeah, Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
Yeah, the reds would have to come from somewhere else. All our reds were killed in that freeze, so those would have to be floating in from Mexico, somewhere around down south. But the blacks, they're seeding like crazy right now. I pull all the shorelines. There's seeds everywhere, and the first year that they seeded. After the freeze, there was a bunch of them on the south shorelines. Every south shoreline had a line of little mangroves growing up, and that was from that north wind blowing so hard during that freeze, pushed them all over on that side. Well, it took about 2 years for them to start getting big enough where they would seed, and so I started picking them up. I think I've told you all that before, and just started tossing them out into big open flat areas that had no growth at all. And now I'm pulling those areas, and I'm seeing little foot and a half, 2 foot tall little mangroves where I was throwing those seeds at. So you can kind of spread them around if you want to.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, obviously the mangroves, it's logic, but it's awesome for our shorelines and also for hurricanes and such. But that's the other thing about it. But he said there was a lot of red mangroves seeds as well, and it like you said, Dean, I mean, you got to start somewhere, and there was no hurricane this year, so it's going to help.
Well, the hurricanes in other places are going to shake them loose, toss them into the Gulf Stream, and then they have to have a way to get here. The interesting thing about those seeds is, and we call them seeds, it's what falls off the tree at what looks like a seed. It's a propagule. It is a container that carries the seed. The way those things travel, the seed is actually inside the casing of part of the tree. And so it's designed to float, and it is designed to be carried across currents and long distances over long periods of time and remain viable inside the propagule. And so the seed is actually in there.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Google it.
Your mic is off.
Well, who the hell saw that coming?
He said it before. He said it before. They turn into like these long little things. It's a propagule. I think I misspelled it. I think it's propugule. But here's the other interesting thing that was in this story that I read. This whatever it was, and this is where Caleb can hop in. All three of you guys, but Caleb, I know you're all about in the mid coast. You fish everywhere, but on the mid coast, it said since we've only had the one big cold front so far, and the high tides, even the oyster beds are getting some help. Now, again, not going to happen overnight, but since there were no hurricanes of note, it makes the salinity levels very, very moderate. So there's not a lot of fresh water up and down the upper and middle coast. So even the oyster reefs are having a good time this year.
Fantastic news.
Now we know there's big problems with oyster reefs, but still.
I kind of wish he'd have kept all this to himself. Because let me tell you a story real quick, John.
Yeah.
Saturday morning about 9:30, when Cade and I were headed to Kyle Field, he looks at me and says, "I hope it's a close game. I don't want it to be a blowout and be boring."
Wow.
And then we know what we got. And now we're talking about the salinity levels being so good. And what are we supposed to get, like 10 inches this week or something?
Oh, you're talking about the curse, jinxing it.
Yeah, but it's supposed to dump this week. But yeah. let's talk about this in February.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was really interesting. It was
I think it's great news.
Yeah,
I love it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Scott? I know oyster reefs; they've got decades to go, but still, doesn't hurt.
Yeah, they've been hammering the oysters up here, right up in the upper end of the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Many boats sitting on top of each other all around the Port Lavaca Bridge. But the only thing that's really going to help the oyster reefs is protecting them the way they did down Carlos Bay and all that, and rebuilding them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it doesn't hurt that nature's helping out with little saltier water,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I think sometimes when the fresh water hits and then they close those areas to the oyster boats, it might help a little bit more.
I was actually talking to John Blaha we had the CCA Anglers Night Out a couple weeks ago, and it's what he was talking about. He was talking about where the fleet is kind of getting. I mean, thankfully there's areas here that got protected, and so the fleet has not moved down to our area yet, but that just puts them hammering other areas. So
that's the thing. Yeah,
they move around, and there still is a lot of Aransas Bay that is available to the oyster boats, but it's something I don't know exactly what drives them to different areas at different times of the season, but they usually show up here later. Last, it's been the rhythm over the last couple of years. Why they don't spread out is a good question. Why aren't somebody come down here and take advantage of nobody here at that point? But it's weird how they all tend to gang up and travel together like that. I don't know what the driving force is.
I think there's something too that the better quality oysters come from colder water. Maybe y'all get cold later on, but we should get Peyton Arsola on here. His dad was a well-known big trout guy. Peyton's worked on shrimp boats, oyster boats, all kinds of stuff. I had a long conversation with him last week, and he can answer a lot of these questions. He answered all of them pretty well. I just don't remember anything he said.
Send me his number. I wrote down his name. Send me his number. Scott, Scott, what are we talking about when what Dean was talking about? They're not moving around. A lot of places are just shut down. That's one of the reasons, isn't it?
Yeah, they close different areas at different times and then open them up. And when they open them up, man, the swarm is coming. And I'm guessing that the Lavaca Bay opened up recently. There's one of my customers that was fishing with me came down and he said, "Man, I don't know what was going on." He said, "But man, there's just boats sitting on top of each other. I don't know if they're shrimping or they're what they're doing." I said, "No, they're sitting on top of each other. That's all oyster boats." And he said he counted like 30 or 40 of them
Oh yeah,
right
easy.
off the bridge.
The thing is, you can drive over the bridge and see them all. They're right there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big convoy of them from like Matagorda West Bay headed to Galveston a week or two ago. They came through the Matagorda locks and scared the pants off everybody. But when they cleared Sargent, it's like, whew, okay, not us.
All right, one more fishing topic here, and then we'll get to what would Scott and Caleb and Dean do. I got this question on a DM, just flat out asking: do you game plan more? Well, is game planning more weather driven this time of year? Dean, you kind of talked about that at the start of the show, but Caleb, you were nodding your head. I'll start with you. Do you game plan more? Is more because of the weather this year than other times of year?
I got to be honest. See these ear pods I got in right here? I'm actually listening to music most of the time, and I might have just been kind of jamming a little bit. But no,
too late. Too bad.
Weather is 100% about the only thing that I game plan around this kind of year. I don't particularly care about the moon phase. You know, the water temperature is going to be what it's going to be, the air temperature. What I care about is wind speed, is the sun out. You know, if the tide's falling, even better. But right now, this time of year, about all I really care about as a red fisherman, not as a trout fisherman, about all I care about is wind speed. There's nothing else that matters to me. I don't open it. The only way I open apps and check like tides and all that stuff is if I look at Wind Finder and it shows me the wind speeds I want. Then I start checking all the other stuff. But yeah, weather and wind are the two big things. And I guess you could expand upon the weather in that, you know, it obviously did a front come through that pulls water, did a front come through that cooled everything down. I've talked about that mid 60-degree water temperature that I really like, but it's all weather. Moon phase, all that doesn't matter to me at all. Majors and minors don't matter to me at all right now.
And I would agree with Caleb, but I do add the tide. The tide, no matter the seasons, is usually the first thing I look at, because that dictates. I'm always searching for the shallowest water that I can navigate in and fish in, that I can drift in and get out of. I mean, I'm always trying to push the limits on the shallowest flats, but that's because in Redfish Bay here, you know, we're covering vast distances of ultra shallow water. And then secondary, it's the wind, because I want to know when I get where I'm going, you know, which way is the wind going to push me through that flat. I want to go shallow, and I want the wind to push me out to deeper water. I don't want to get blown into shallower water. But the moon phases at this time of year are not as critical as the summer. I mean, we've talked about that. We've analyzed that a lot throughout the year, that because of the water temperature, because of the bait fish, because of all these overriding factors, the major and the minors and the moon and those things really don't seem to be as critical. But the only thing that, you know, is critical is where am I going and what direction am I going to drift when I get there.
Yeah, see, and I can agree with Dean on the tides. Because here at Matagorda, our back lakes, our bays, everything, if it's too shallow, move towards the middle 10 more feet. Everything is a gradual drop to a bowl. The only thing that's going to affect is how I get there. You know, can I take the cut across through shallower water, or do I have to go through deeper water to get there? The tide, when the front comes through and drops that tide, it sucks the shrimp and the little fish that I want out in the lakes to get everything else going. And that's the catalyst that makes not much anything else bother me. But it will happen. Like we had a cold spell. What's it been, like 10, 12 days now since the one that dumped the water?
Yeah.
And it does seem like the bait that gets pulled out gets either eaten or makes it to where it's going, and everything will kind of settle down and fizzle out. The schools won't be as aggressive. The birds won't be as plentiful, so forth and so on. And you do have to wait for that next event that pulls a bunch of water out of the marsh and fires it back off again.
How about what you do, Scott?
Well, I'm getting ready to go out for tomorrow, and one of the first things I'm looking at is what's what's the tide been doing? And is it, it was super, super low this week and never really rose up, but over the last day or two, it's coming up quite a bit more. That opens up new areas, and knowing where the fish have been over the last few days on those super shallow tides, now I get an idea of where they might be moving to, and new places that I can get into. There was a whole lot of stuff that was off limits Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just because of the depth of the water, and it wasn't coming back. It was falling out all day, so it wasn't like you could slide into an area in the morning and fish it, and then not have to worry about getting out of it. We were losing water all day long. Now the high tide's going to be about 11, 12 o'clock tonight, and then falling all day until about noon tomorrow. And it looks like it's going to rise and fall about a foot. And so I'm going to have to pay attention to that to know I can't get into.
Yeah, that's a pretty big fall.
There's a couple back lakes I really want to go try.
Yeah.
Tide falling all day long. And so I'm going to watch the wind direction too. If it's going to be southeast and it's blowing pretty good, it's supposed to be 15 gusting to 20, and it won't fall as hard with that. If it turns southwest like it did last week, it's going to fall out harder. If it's got any west in it at all, it's going to drop quite a bit more. So it's a navigational thing as much as anything for me. Just being able to get in and get out. But overall, the moon stuff and all that doesn't affect me at all. I just want to know which way the wind's going to be blowing, how hard it's going to be blowing, and what the tide's doing.
This is the dangerous time of year for us with Boat Ramp Confessionals, because
yes, it is.
Those ponds back there got fish in them. We know they're there, but we can't always get there without a little bit of white knuckling.
But you want to.
I ran back into a pond last year, maybe the year before. I was still in my 25 JH, and I had a lady and her son with me. And dude, I cleared the channel and got to that pond, and there's a flat that's about 150 yards long, and there was the tips of oyster shells sticking out from side to side for the whole 100-something yards. And man, I white knuckled that sucker in there, and whenever I shut the boat down, I'm sitting there just kind of trying to put myself. And when I move, my butt made a pop sound off the CNC. And she looks at me, she goes, "This is so beautiful."
Oh God, you just reminded me. This has been 3 years. It was in Matagorda. Same thing. I don't know what pond it was, similar to yours. I was taking a buddy and his girlfriend out, and I was doing the same thing. I wanted to get back there, and she goes, "Let me take my camera out," because we were doing the weave and all that. And they want to take good videos, and I said, "Why don't you do it on the way out? Why don't you do it on the way out? Because on the way in, that camera might end up in the water." Like it's something.
Or the people.
Mine's more of we're doing the weave, and she says, "Let me take the camera down." And I look at her, I go, "You better sit down and hold on."
If you're listening to this podcast, then I know you're passionate about the outdoors, and you also live for those moments, not just fishing, sharing stories and laughs around that pit or grill. Texas Star Grill Shop is a proud sponsor of the Bite Me YouTube channel. Before you set off for your next outdoor adventure, don't forget to stop by Texas Star Grill Shop to pick up your bottle of OG sauce as well. Texas Star Grill Shop. The next time you catch those big fish, celebrate it around that grill. From Texas Star Grill Shop, proud sponsor of this Bite Me YouTube channel and the Bite Meat podcast. Subscribe today. All right, perfect transition to what would Scott Dean and Caleb do. I'm gonna start with Dean because speaking of west, Scott, little west, was it west northwest? I saw on Friday and then Saturday and then Sunday goes back to northeast. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong days, but what would you do, big fella?
I got
nothing
north.
You got north,
nothing but south winds.
Yeah,
It's south and southeast until Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Okay, maybe that's what I was looking at. Yeah.
Until it turns north on.
I don't have north until next Tuesday.
Yeah,
Monday
night is when we got.
And at that, we have like 5 hours of north on Tuesday.
Yeah, and no cold. No real.
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
It's cold Thursday.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Real cold. Our version of real cold is 54 degrees.
Yeah.
I guess that's Thanksgiving, right? Is
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, 80s, 79. So we have, but it's crazy. So this afternoon, the tide is back up to 1.3 here in Redfish Bay. This morning, at its lowest, it was 0.2. So that is a foot of incoming tide from this morning until 4 o'clock. It's a pretty dramatic incoming tide. 2 weeks ago, it was exactly the opposite. It was high in the morning, dropping dramatically throughout the day. In spite of that, Redfish Bay right now is as good as it gets. The lower than normal tides, the one thing that will kind of make sense to everybody is that a lot of the flats that I fish on really higher tides, which are on the east side of the bay, towards the intercoastal, along the intercoastal side, all of those flats are deeper along that side of the bay. There's muddier bottom, which also is more important in the winter. It's not that critical right now where the water temperature is, but all of the shallowest flats are going really, really dry during the low tide period. The incoming tide is not they're not leaving those areas. Those fish are staying in there. So even as the tide comes in throughout the day, those fish are going to be still where they were on the low tide. They're not moving around that much, and they're still singled out. So the conditions for the next 5 days, and from what I've seen in the last couple of days, I mean, it should just continue to be as good as it gets. And fishing every day this week, I got Friday available. If anybody wants to jump in on some really good action, it is the one day that's open this week, and conditions just couldn't be more comfortable. There's no people on the water. I mean, we've had those flats completely to ourselves, which also is a factor in that game right now.
Yeah, Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I was doing, just maybe move into some little more backwaters. I think the fish are going to move. A lot of them that I found too were when it was real, real low, were in the little small bayous and where it was staying 1.5 feet, 2 foot deep. It was a little off color, hard to sight cast them, but it was almost like they were sitting on go, waiting for it to rise up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think with this rising water, those fish are going to come out of those holes and move back into the back lakes. So with a little more water tomorrow, I'm probably going to slide up into some places I couldn't go earlier this week.
Caleb, what if you had to catch some trout tomorrow or this week?
Man, Saturday is the only day that looks like much fun to me personally. I think we've got all that rain coming down, and Windfinder isn't showing a lot of it, but the Weather Channel gives it like a 40 to 50% chance a day.
Like Friday, right? Thursday and Friday?
Wednesday and Thursday, and then into Friday, and then it's showing it. We'll see, and that shit. The apps aren't agreeing with themselves. At some point, we're going to get some rain in here, I think. But Saturday, man, it's single-digit winds during the day. I'd probably personally be crawling around somewhere shallow and looking for some redfish and whatnot, moving around. Trout, it's November. The water feels good. They feel pretty good. Find some bait, wade that. Find some good areas, drip that. Trout, you'll probably be all right. It's hard to screw up in November.
All right. Famous last words. I'll be there. I'll let you know if I screw up.
The only thing that notoriously screws up in November is the Aggies. Am I right?
That's right. Well, again, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Bruno right now. We're not talking about Bruno.
We're reversing it. We're reversing it. We got to make up for all the crap that Perry's been talking. That is a force that is just working against us.
Poor Perry. He took his lumps on that LSU.
He was no Perry's Aggie fan. He was at the A&M game.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking who was somebody else. Franklin, maybe?
Yeah, no, Adam Weller's the moron that's a Tiger fan.
Okay. Hey, man, real good information from you guys. If people like me can't catch fish now this week, they got a real problem, and that's a tease for next week. I'll let you know for sure. Dean has Friday. Scott and Caleb, you got any days coming up? Let's get some people on your boats.
Yeah, just give me a call and get on the calendar. I think our December is going to be I hope our December is going to be what our November usually is.
Yeah.
I'm usually New Year's Day is when I'm like, all right, the schools are going to really die off. Man, we might fish schools well into January, unless it does the thing where it stays hot until December and then just it turns into Arctic winter around Christmas and kills it. But yeah, get with me and get on the books. I'm pretty full at this point, as usual. If I have an opening, I'll put it up on Facebook and bite me first. But yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, the overall weather pattern is supposed to be more Pacific fronts, so we shouldn't get any real hard cold. And so all the way through December, book some trips. I think it'll be good.
Good deal. You guys appreciate it. Appreciate the listeners here live. And of course, I'll post this here real soon.
Oh, I have one more public service announcement.
Yes, sir.
So I have been sending out some shootouts
Mm-hmm.
for Christmas stocking stuffers.
Without
from
rope.
now till Christmas, it does include a length of rope.
Woo! Y'all are welcome.
And 3 cents at a time.
all of the packages that went out this week has a nice, it's reflective rope. It's high quality.
Look at that. Caleb, you know where to order it.
Does the rope come in a propagule?
You need to learn to use that word in your repertoire more often.
All right, boys. You guys have a great week. Great show. Catch them up. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, listen, I should apologize to the Tigers fans. That was uncalled for. The Tigers have been more than generous to the Aggies this year, and nothing but appreciation. So sorry, Tiger fans. I didn't mean anything about it. Y'all are good people.